Greetings and welcome to our daily walk through the scriptures for April the 19th. Today your readings found you in Joshua chapter 21, Joshua chapter 22 verses 1 through 20, Psalm 89, and Proverbs chapter 13 verses 15 through 16. Today I want to look at Luke chapter 20 because there are, let's just say that welcome to our day of unexpected answers to questions. You know, there's a lot of interactions that Jesus has with religious leaders, and you know they come with a specific agenda, trying to trap him, looking for something, and Jesus usually gives them something completely unexpected, something that they weren't looking for, something that they weren't anticipating at all, and it oftentimes leaves them speechless. And that's kind of exactly what Jesus does here. You get three instances where Jesus is asked significant questions in Luke chapter 20. The first one is, who gave you this authority? And, you know, obviously they were looking to trap Jesus into saying something that was going to blaspheme God, which is really hard to do when you are God. Just saying. But they said, and who gave you this authority? And so Jesus says, tell you what, you answer this question and I'll answer your question. And then he gives them a question that they can't answer. They don't expect it. And in fact, in many ways, I see them as hardening their hearts, almost like Pharaoh does in the book of Exodus, because not only do they refuse to answer, but they refuse to acknowledge the reality of situations. They refuse to acknowledge that John was a prophet of God. They don't want to do it because they don't want to admit that they are wrong. Pride is a very dangerous, deadly thing. It's one of the reasons why the Catholics call it one of the 7 deadly sins. Next question comes in paying taxes to Caesar in verse 20. And you look at this and it is them going, well, you know, what do we do about taxes? Because remember, they don't like, this is really kind of an ironic question because they don't like the Romans, all right? They can't stand the Romans. They would love to be free of the Romans. They're looking for someone to rescue them from the Romans. And yet, when it's convenient, they're going to ask, you know, let's use the Roman Empire to our advantage. Of course, then they ask the tax question. And then Jesus says, well, this is very simple. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to God what is God's. Basic translation is, what is man made? You feel free to give back whatever's man made. You continue to live that way. But if you want what's eternal, give it to God. If Caesar demands taxes, give Caesar his taxes, but make sure that you're giving God what God so richly deserves. Okay? And then Jesus continues that first question, and he sandwiches in between these two things. He talks about the parable of the tenants. And Jesus is basically telling these religious leaders that you guys are the tenants. And of course, the teachers of the law and the chief priests look for a way to arrest him immediately because they knew that he had spoken this parable against them. We have instances of hearts hardening every single time. They're not listening to the warnings. They're not listening to what Jesus said. Jesus is warning them, if you continue down this path, God is going to come and judge you. They don't listen to that part. All they listen to is the part of, you make me mad because you're telling the truth and I don't like the truth because the truth is about me and it makes me look like a mean person. That's basically what these guys are doing. They've hardened their hearts to the point that they can no longer hear what God is trying to tell them, the truths that God is trying to teach them. And this is a great lesson for us. This is something for us to pay attention to. That third question that I was bringing up, well, that's going to come in tomorrow's conversation when it looks at resurrection, marriage, those kind of things. So with that being said, that's our conversation for today. We'll talk more tomorrow.